So when I first applied to Amarillo back in September of 2025, that's when my research began into the organization. Amarillo historically had a higher than average violent crime rate. And as I began to dig into what that looks like over time, having the opportunity to talk with the sheriffs in the area, as well as community members, what I began to find is we could do better proactive policing. And so as I began to look at the organization as a whole, I saw an opportunity for us to grow in patrol-related functions. So there's two primary focuses on the realignment. One is to address violent crime, and the second is traffic safety. For us to be proactive, for us to have the opportunity to do that in patrol, we have to increase staffing. What you'll see over the next 12 to 18 months is almost a 25% increase to our total staffing levels in patrol. And that's including officers as well as supervisors. My goal with the restaffing or increasing the staffing in patrol is to improve response times, to see more proactivity, to see more of the squad cars driving around the neighborhoods, but also to have that interaction at the business level, at the community level.
Patrol is important because it's kind of the face of the police department as a whole. That's the first thing that comes to people's mind when they think police. With some other things that have been implemented, they should see fitter officers. They should see more well-trained officers, officers that are ready to tackle things more head-on. Probably officers with better attitudes because we've got more people helping us out day to day, answering calls, just figuring out problems, solving problems.
When you have intelligence-driven policing and you have the ability to put people behind the radio that have access to technology, it's only going to increase the effectiveness and efficiency of what we do on the street. The individuals that are in the ARC can provide information on the location, information on the vehicles, information on other previous offenses that occurred. The goal is to cover 7 days a week up to 20 hours a day. Again, that allows us to have that support directly to our patrol officers, to allow them to do the job better, more effective and efficient. It's a force multiplier for our officers in the field.
The chief's idea of realigning the Amarillo Regional Crime Center was number one, add staffing. Starting in May 28th, we're going to add 3 officers and a supervisor. So that'll allow those guys to operate 7 days a week from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. So it'll help our officers, with the idea of trying to help them out as close to 24/7 as we can.
So historically, our agency has had challenges with gangs all the way back from 2018. Over the course of time, the agency has chosen to make that a part-time approach. So having a full-time gang unit allows us to have more intelligence, to gather more information, and to have more of a proactive approach on the disruption of our gangs that are currently in our city.
Gang-related violence has very little, if anything, to do with geography and more so with association and mentality. We have 3 different areas in which we are going to try to affect a change. So we have targeted proactive enforcement, we have intelligence gathering and sharing, and then we have an educational component. Having the ability to integrate other aspects, the directed enforcement and investigative side, the intelligence gathering and sharing, and then an educational component. That's what this realignment is going to assist with as we move forward.
In the DWI world, every traffic stop has the potential of saving someone's life. So our DWI unit before was still under patrol, still having to answer calls for service, which at times bogs them down. So having 4 full-time officers with a full-time sergeant allows us to have specialty in a very complicated at times offense. These officers who become experts in the field begin to recognize the signs and symptoms of intoxication, but also of what's causing that intoxication. It's better enforcement, it's better case preparation, and it's a better investigation overall.
Impaired driving in Amarillo is a problem. We've seen an upward trend in the last several years. One of the things that we're going to do to address it is we've started this impaired driving enforcement unit, and it consists of 4 guys and a sergeant, and we will go out and patrol the entire city, but we focus on areas that statistics have shown have a higher rate of arrests or crashes related to impaired driving.
So my goal with the entire organization is twofold. One, to be more proactive, but also being proactive about engaging the community, finding opportunities to engage them where they're at, not sitting back and waiting for our community to come to us with the concerns, but going and seeking them out, asking them where they're at and how we can improve the things that are going on in their life. You'll see that in not only this program, but also some mentoringship programs that we're going to do through the Police Athletic League, and maybe some other opportunities in other community events. I think with starting a full-time gang unit, that allows us to focus on those members, again, committing the majority of the crime. While traffic safety, having a full-time DWI unit and increasing our overall traffic officers gives us an opportunity to be more proactive. But both of those hinge on also increasing patrol, because our patrol officers are the backbone of the organization. They're the first ones on scene. And by giving them more staffing, it affects both areas, not only violent crime, but also traffic safety. As an organization, what we're focused on is protecting the vulnerable from harm. That's the basis of what we do every single day. And if we have opportunities to do that by increasing our staffing in patrol or staffing in our uniform division, our goal is to protect the vulnerable from harm.